You're listening to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast, the place to come for movie reviews, along with some extra fun talk about movie-related topics like box office and awards. You can find us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and basically any place else you can find podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter for even more content. If you like what we do, feel free to share us with your friends, like and leave feedback wherever you listen to us, and let us know what you think. Now, let's get on with the show. So, Ryan, do you know what this is?
No,
you don't know. You don't know. This is the first episode of Season 5 of the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast.
Yeah, okay.
I know. I can't believe I've conned you into doing this for over 3 years. But speaking of cons...
Yeah.
We kind of have one to talk about. Starring Adam Sandler, of all people.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems. Bit of a departure, would you say, for Mr. Sandler?
Well, he does a film like this about once every 8 years. So, yes. Yeah, generally speaking, absolutely, yes. Rather extreme departure from, I think, what most people will think.
Right. I was like, I kind of knew what it was going in, and I was still how far afield it seemed. So he plays a New York City jeweler with a gambling problem, with a girlfriend.
With also gambling may be just one of many of this individual's problems.
It's the most straightforward problem he has.
Yeah, it might be.
He's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a girlfriend, he's got a bookie, and he's got the mark of a lifetime show up in his office in the form of this uncut gem from Ethiopia, the rare red opal smuggled out of Ethiopian opal mines. When you talked about this movie, you said that tell me what you said about this.
I probably said that I thought it was a really well-made movie, and that it was the movie that they wanted to make, and then I probably said something about how I hated it.
I believe you said you hated all the characters. I don't know that you said you hated the movie. So you hated the characters.
I hated most of the characters. There were a couple people who probably more than anything I hate Adam Sandler's character, but I don't think that is accidental. So while that might sound a bit weird, I don't think you're not necessarily going to, when you have a character study of an individual that's not really that great of when I say not that great of a character, I mean Bad Lieutenant, what else? Films that are about characters that you ultimately just despise, and who anything wrong that goes in this individual's life is really their fault.
Yes.
And a lack of self-control, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, et cetera. You're right. You're not supposed to like him. He is the protagonist. He is not the hero. He is not the anti-hero. He just happens to be the character we have to watch through the entire film.
Yeah, I don't know that there is a hero in this. Which is fine. I think that can be interesting. I don't know. No, I mean here's I can't really talk about the movie in negative terms, because I do think it's a really, really well-made movie. I just don't know that it's something that I'll ever return to. And the gimmick of Sandler doing serious isn't enough for me to just. I mean, his performance is fine. There's nothing wrong with his performance, but just because Adam Sandler has a fine performance doesn't mean we should, get all excited and decide to give him an Oscar.
Right. Speaking of, there was apparently some people were surprised he didn't get nominated for a Golden Globe. I don't think that maybe in another year, maybe. But I don't know that in this year, this is a good enough performance.
I don't think so. I think if anyone else did this performance, No, it's not a bad performance, and I'm not going to knock it at all. I just don't think that it's one of the best performances of the year. It might be one of the best performances of that individual's career, but that in and of itself is not enough for me to.
Right, that's what I'm saying. In another year, he might have, but not this year.
Sure,
I just there's way too much good stuff this year. I mean, he would have been best actor and it would have been a drama. He'd have been Christian Bale, Banderas, Adam Driver, Joaquin Phoenix, Jonathan Pryce.
No, there's I mean, again, this is I mean, there's a lot of people who are, gosh, and there's just nothing particular about this performance that screams. Even even if he got nominated, it would be a token nomination. He was never going to win.
No, not in that field. Definitely not. But the speak of the film itself, like I said, the film is really well put together. But I actually haven't we seen like this exact story, except for maybe the very, very end, and maybe even the very, very end. I mean, we've seen the unrepentant gambler. I mean, he is unrepentant. I mean, there's like 60 seconds in this film where he almost becomes, sorry for himself, and not sorry for himself like woe is me, but sorry about what he's done, and he wishes he could change himself. But then that goes away very quickly. But other than that, it's the performances make this movie. I don't think the script necessarily is anything special.
No, but I do think I forget what the directors. It's
the Safdie
two guys.
brothers.
Yeah, they did a movie called Good Time with Robert Pattinson. Sorry, wow, Robert Pattinson. That was really quite interesting, and that it was similar to this in that it had a character at its center that made every bad decision. So. I mean, obviously, that these guys like to operate in worlds of damaged people, and they also kind of. The Robert Pattinson isn't as much of a stunt casting as this is, but this is kind of. I really did like Good Time. So
I've had it on my list. I just. Again,
my
list isn't as long as yours, but it's still pretty sizable.
And I mean, but yeah, so these guys, I mean, I don't know that it's entirely original. And I think that if it hadn't been Adam Sandler, it wouldn't get nearly as much attention, although they might talk about other actors who are in this. Adam Sandler isn't the only, I mean, Idina Menzel's in it or whatever.
As his wife, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's there's a lot of well-known actors. Goodness, some of the cameos that they got in this, and not even cameos, just the celebrities performing of themselves are pretty remarkable. The Weeknd is in this. Kevin Garnett is in this. And again, I don't know that they're great actors, but they're perfectly fine being themselves.
Yeah.
But I don't even think that's actually them, but it's a believable version of themselves, I guess. I really enjoyed Kevin Garnett's kind of. It just kind of felt like he had a willingness to just kind of go along and with whatever you want to make me this ultra paranoid, not paranoid, superstitious. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't. They've kind of played up on the, and maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's his reputation, but I found that, that he was kind of willing to go along with a bit of that fun.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of athletes are superstitious like that. So it's not really stretch. So yeah, it was good. The guy that I want to mention real quick is Eric Bogosian, who plays Arno, his brother-in-law.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Just Poor guy.
Poor
Anyway,
guy. But
anyway.
what's funny is that at the end of the film, it's almost like he has this awakening, and then the
Sure.
film happens. So, but I was just like, because he's minor spoiler. He's locked in that little glass box, and if you just watch his face over the course of that basketball game, that transformation is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the end, and I was just like, that was like a really solid chunk of time on screen. I was just like, wow, that was a really good performance. You talk about all the little pieces that work together in this film. That was one for me that stuck out. I was like, damn, that was really good, from where he started in the film to the end, and it's just like,
Well, yeah. If there's a character that has an arc that you can really watch and that is fully developed, it's him. Like you said, Sandler's character doesn't really have much more than he's kind of I don't know, straight line's probably not right, but he
has a blip.
Doesn't. Yeah, he has a heartbeat.
Yeah,
and that's about all that they But yeah, there's. I guess there is, to a certain degree, some of the supporting characters are more interesting and more appealing than the lead, and that's always an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Although, like I said, a lot of the people in this movie have kind of, whatever issues that they've come into, it's really on them, and that can be interesting. But I'm glad I saw it, and if you're tempted to see it, you should probably see it.
Yes, I concur.
It's look. What did I'm trying to think how a couple of weeks ago, in the midst of the Star Wars reviews and everything, I made the comment that I can enjoy a film that I know isn't as technically as good as other films.
Yeah.
And I can also not enjoy a film that I know that was done perfectly. So as a critic, where does that put me? I gave it basically an 8, and yet I have no desire to own it or to go back. There are 2-star movies that I'd rather watch than watch that again.
Yeah. No, I don't necessarily disagree with your 8-ish. On this one, it's good enough to warrant that, but you're right. It's a one and done. Yeah, you don't pull it out every Easter and watch it. It's not that film, and that's okay. You need movies like that, just like you need movies like Star Wars. I'm glad that a movie like this got made. I know that might sound weird, but I think that the studio A24 that put this out, one thing I like about them is that I always have a reaction to their films. It may be that I loved it. It could also be that I hated it. But rarely am there's maybe 1 or 2 times that I haven't responded to what they put out. So that's pretty, amazing, actually. And that's one of the things I admire about them. There are a lot of people who are A24 fans who just love everything that they do, and I think that's a bit weird. I prefer that. I actually dislike some of the stuff they do, but it's a sort of situation where I'm glad that they're giving these filmmakers license to do these things. And yeah, no, this not necessarily this depressing, but this size of movie, I guess.
Well, and oddly enough, this is the biggest film that they've, as far as, I guess, weekend wise, that they've had. So it was a successful experiment from that angle as well. And
right. Yeah, it's we definitely need those. We definitely do need those. And like these. So that is Uncut Gems. We're both at about an 8-ish. That's really weird. I wouldn't have called that. 8-ish, somewhere 7.5, 8-ish. So, all right. So that is it for Uncut Gems. First episode of season 5 done. Many more to come, because there's a lot of movies coming out this year. A few more weeks, or just a couple in the next couple weeks. Then we have Sundance. We've got a couple of Marvel movies this year. We've got some more Disney stuff coming. It's going to be another busy year in cinema, and let's hope we get some mid 30 million budget surprises as we go as well. That would be nice, instead of $150 million maybes. Maybes. That's what we'll call them. Maybes.
Yeah, there'll be those as well, probably. But but yes, optimistically, there hopefully will be a couple films that we aren't expecting to be good that turn out to be good, and
true.
Unfortunately, there will be films that we really wanted to be good that
and you know what? And I'll tease one of those right now. Onward. I saw the first trailer and I was like, I want to watch this movie. And then I saw another trailer and I was like, I don't know if I want to see this movie. And now every time I see a trailer, I can't decide whether or not I think that movie's going to be any good or not. I wish they'd have stopped with the first trailer. They had me. So we'll see which trailer wins when that movie comes out. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's my teaser for I don't know which way it's going to go at this point. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I want to like it. I'm just completely confused by it. So I'm going to have to watch it and go, well, I don't know. That's it. Everyone pack up your bags, go home, go to bed, go watch a movie. Go watch a movie. That's probably what you should do. Go watch a movie. Maybe go watch Uncut Gems. It's an option. There are many options, but this is one that you can assume that you'll like if you think you were going to like it in the first place. We can tell you that. So, until next time, I'm Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See you guys.
And we will talk to you all later.